Hey everybody, welcome into Faith in Football. My name is Neil, and we are here week 6. This is the start sit episode. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate it greatly. Taking your time and spending a little bit of it with me. Um, this episode, we're talking injury recap from week 5, what that's going to mean for week 6, and who we're going to start, who we're going to sit, what the matchups are, and the two talk about the two teams that are on bye this week. That's right. There's only two teams on bye, but before we get into that, as always, like the title of this channel is Faith in Football, we're putting God first. Remember, we talked about a couple episodes ago about having God centered. Everything that we do is centered from a God point of view and having Him at the center of our life. When we do start sits, what are we really doing? What are we really saying about these players? We're saying that we believe in that player over this player. When we have that decision to make, we say that our belief is stronger in this than that. So the question I want to ask today, who do you believe in? It was a question that was posed to the disciples, and not necessarily in that phrase, but they were asked by Jesus in Matthew chapter 16, verse 13. He said, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" And he was told by his disciples that some say he was Elijah, or some say that he was John the Baptist, or some say that he was Jeremiah or one of the other prophets. But then he said, "Who do you say that I am?" So I ask you today, who do you believe in? Do you believe in Jesus? Do you believe in a God that created you, that knows you, that formed you in your mother's womb, like the Bible tells us? These are questions that start the basis of our belief. Because if we don't believe that God is God, that Jesus was Jesus, then the Bible is irrelevant. And I know personally it's not. I know that I have a relationship with Jesus Christ. I know that I have a relationship with God. And sometimes it's hard to explain why. It's something that you just know, something that you feel, something that you can explain it all day long, but until that one person that you're trying to explain it to has a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, they're never really going to understand fully what it means to follow God. See, when we plant our flag on certain players, somebody can come and say, well, that guy is this and this guy is that, and he's not performing, but you say, I still believe. See, there's times in our life when we're not where we want to be, and we're not doing what we want to do, and we're not getting what we think we should get, but we still say, I believe. Having that belief in something, and as I've said on the show before, as small and insignificant as fantasy football, having that basis where you can have a belief in a player that isn't performing, but you know he will, and having him pay off later on. Guys, that's the same belief that people have in Jesus Christ. We don't see what he sees. He has that belief in us. We don't see the prosperity that we're going to have down the road. We don't see the men and women of God that we're going to be because we turned a corner. We sometimes we don't even know when that corner is. But when we look back and we go, man, this was the spot. That was the turning point. We can look at certain games for players and go, that was the time. That was the turning point. That's when he started performing. Jesus looks at us. God looks at us and goes, that's when they started performing, when they hit rock bottom, when they realized that I was there for them the whole time. That's when our belief is proven. So I ask you today, as we go through our week, as we prepare for week 6, as we prepare for our day to day, that you keep in mind that not only do we believe in Jesus, but he believes in us. And he's believed in us a whole lot longer than we ever believed in him. He knew where we were going to be when he formed us. He has a plan for you. He has it laid out for you. We just have to make the right choices. So, in that spirit of making the right choices, we're going to start to get into week 6 of Start Sits. But I pray that you carry with you the thought that Jesus believes in you. I don't know where you're at right now. I don't know where you're struggling at, what you're dealing with. Maybe you're feeling like there's nobody that believes in you. Maybe you feel like that player on the bench that is never going to get any playing time. But then all of a sudden an injury happens and another injury happens, and it's your time. It's time for you to step up. I reached that time in my life. Time after time after time, I thought it wasn't going to be me. I thought I wasn't worthy. But God told me that I was. He told me that I was worth what he made me. And he had a plan for me. And he had a purpose for me. You're sharing part of it right now. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't get paid to do this. I do this out of obedience. And I might not get that many views and I might not have that many subscribers, but I do this for practice. And I know somewhere somebody's going, practice. Practice, yes, practice. That's what we're doing. So that when I do get the opportunity face to face, I can feel comfortable. I can feel confident. I can have the knowledge, not just up here, but in here, because that's where the Bible tells us that we are to store his word. We are to store it in our heart so that we may not sin against him. So remember, as much time as you guys might spend in fantasy football, I pray that you're spending that much time and more with Jesus. So I thank y'all for allowing me to share the word, and to my comment from my last video that I put out on the Tuesday episode. Hi, Mom. Yeah, my mom watches the video. I'm not sure if she watches through the whole thing. It might just be for the scripture and for the word. But I appreciate her watching regardless, just as I appreciate you guys. So you guys know what time it is. It's time to talk sponsors before we get into the football side of things. And of course, as always, my first and oldest sponsor is Zia Rotisserie Bar, 235 Duce Road off of Johnson Street, Lafayette, Louisiana. Guys, they're under construction right now, so if you go by, they might seem like they're closed. They're not. They're open. Come on in. And if you go in and you mention Faith in Football, when you go in, you can get for free an appetizer of your choice for the table. Look, you guys want to try out the ribs that everybody's talking about? They got you covered. If you want to try out the Kung Pao cauliflower, yes, This is the South, and we deep fry everything down here, including the vegetables. So the veggies are deep fried, got a little kung pao seasoning, some peanuts, tossed with a pepper mix. They are absolutely amazing. Make sure you go down there and tell them that Neil sent you from Faith in Football and get it for free. You want shrimp? We got you covered there too. The Asian almond shrimp is absolutely phenomenal. Make sure you give that a whirl. Maybe you want something that's a little more shareable. You can get my wife's personal favorite, the Met hummus. The Mediterranean hummus is amazing. Go down there and get it. And remember, get it for free. Why pay for something when it's going to be free? Just mention Faith in Football and get it. And if you're in the area and you need some catering done, give them a call at 337-406-0013, and they can help you with any kind of catering that you want to do. You want to do it in-house, they have a back room. If you guys subscribe, like, and share, you can go back and check out my short that I did on right after our live draft from the back room. Check it out, see what it's like. Big screen TV, absolutely amazing venue. Go down there and check it out if you want a private party. If you want something at your place, they will send some amazing people with some phenomenal food over to your place for whatever event you want. You got a watch party that you're throwing and you need some food, they got you covered. You got a birthday coming up, you got some holidays, some people coming over, they got you covered. Go down there, give them a call, 337-406-0013. Or if you're in the area, you just want to stop by 235 Duce Road off of Johnson Street, Lafayette, Louisiana. And guys, don't forget my sweetest sponsor, Keller's Bakery in Youngsville at 627 Lafayette Street in Youngsville. Go down there, check out my boy Dusty Shores. And when you go in to Keller's, mention Faith in Football, pick up 2 free cookies while you're looking around at what you're going to buy. You don't even have to buy anything to get the cookies. Just walk in and say that you heard about them from Faith in Football, and you get to pick your choice of cookies that you want. And trust me, I haven't had a bad thing from Keller's because he brings something every year for the draft, and they're doing amazing work down there. As a matter of fact, this year they're doing king cakes. Yes, king cakes, not in king cake season for football, and they will do it in your team's colors. Yes, they'll even do Dallas. They might charge you a little more, but remember, these are Saints fans. They don't charge for Washington colors, but they might charge you a little bit for maybe Dallas and Atlanta. But no, seriously, go down there and check them out, guys. Whatever color team colors you got, they can do it for you. You're throwing a party on Thursday for Thursday night football, Sunday all day, they got you with a king cake. Go down there, check them out, and pick up 2 free cookies and eat them on the way home. Nobody has to know. It's our little secret. It's okay. So, guys, also, if you're downtown Lafayette, you walking around, you're a little hungry, go swing by 603 Jefferson Street inside of Gordon Square. It's Amis Groceries. They're kicking out some amazing stuff in a tiny kitchen with big flavors. They got a little chalkboard sign out front. It changes daily, so make sure you stop by and tell tell Bradley and the guys down there at Amis that Neil says hi. They've got everything from farm fresh eggs to beef jerky, freeze-dried candy, all local. They're amazing people. They support the local economy. They actually have over 200 different items from over 50 different local vendors. And maybe you forgot to pick up something for dinner. They got you covered there too in the freezer section. You can pick up family meals already done, pop them in the oven, no muss, no fuss. You ain't got to worry about it. They got you covered. 603 Jefferson Street inside of Gordon Square. And also, if you guys haven't noticed, I haven't been wearing a hat in the past few episodes. That's because my boy Nick Reed down at Sea Wolf Barbershop at 230, or I'm sorry, 135A Arnold Boulevard in Lafayette hooked me up with a fresh cut. Guys, go down there and check him out. You can find him on Booksy. Just type in Nick Reed and he'll come up on Booksy. Hashtag not a sponsor, but I'm available. But guys, seriously, if you guys want a good cut, this guy won't let you out of the chair until every single hair is where it should be, whether that's on your head or on the floor. He won't let you out of the chair until you're perfect. So go down there and see my boy Nick. Tell him Neil says hi. So, guys, week 6 we've got some injuries to talk about. And the injuries were definitely catastrophic in some instances. Uh, one, Antonio Gibson, not in and of itself, not catastrophic. It was catastrophic for him because he's out for the year with a torn ACL. But Travion Henderson is probably the one that gets affected the most in this one. We see Ramondre Stevenson, he's got a fumbling issue, and whatever is going on with Mike Vrabel, I don't know why Stevenson is still the lead back, and he hasn't turned over to Travion yet, but Travion should be getting a lot more playing time now that it's just him and Ramondre. Now, they have tried out about 3 or 4 different backs, so keep an eye on that as to who they sign. Okay, now they're going to be the third string, but Ramondre and Henderson should have more of a 50-50 split. And if Ramondre keeps up his fumbling, hopefully it'll turn into more of a 75-25 type thing. So all you Travion believers, keep the faith, hold on to them. If you have somebody in your league who will trade you and you can upgrade, definitely do that trade. Now, a big one that rocked a whole lot of people was a Mario and Hampton, the rookie running back for the Chargers. Now, he has a left ankle sprain. He is on the IR, which means he is gone for 4 weeks. That's right, 1 month with no Hampton. Guys, this one hurts. Okay. Now, we've got a couple of guys. Hakeem Haskins, some of you guys might remember him from his days with Tennessee backing up Derrick Henry. I was big on this guy when he came out of Michigan. So when he came out of Michigan, went to Tennessee, he was supposed to be the heir apparent when they moved on from Derrick Henry, but he really didn't pan out. Now, he's with Greg Roman in LA with the Chargers and Harbaugh. And guys, you remember where Harbaugh used to coach? That's right, Michigan. Who did he play for in college? That's right, Jim Harbaugh. So him and Harbaugh already have history. So if you were going to go pick up somebody, it wasn't going to be Vitale off the waiver wire. It was going to be Haskins. So definitely, definitely go out and get Haskins, not Vidal. That's my personal opinion on that one. I think that Haskins is going to have a lot more success in the next month, and he's going to be a rental. But look, if you've got a Mario Hampton, he's on your IR right now. You're not trading him. You're not going to get value for him. So just hang on to him until he gets back and gets healthy and kind of do some patchwork with Haskins, okay? Another big one, guys. Not only did the Giants lose Malik Neighbors for the entire season, but Darius Slayton also done. He is out at least 2 or more weeks. Okay, so we're looking 2 week minimum. Now, who does this affect more? Me personally, one, Theo Johnson, tight end for the Giants. That's number one. Number two, Cam Scadaboo, the rookie running back. And guys, look, if you all have been able to watch this guy play, this dude will run through a brick wall twice just for the laugh, okay? Just for the fun of it, okay? This dude, I love watching him play. I actually traded for him. I traded Romeo Dobbs off of his big game to get Scadaboo. Um, I honestly couldn't believe that the guy that I traded actually went 101 for this deal. But as I said before, when you do a running back for a wide receiver, those deals are easier to get done than a 1-for-1 on the same position. Okay. But I went Romeo Dobbs, got Scadaboo, and hopefully I'm trying to turn Scadaboo into even more. So that's how you do trades. You always want to be upgrading, okay? And remember, if you're not trading, you're not trying, okay? Now, a lot of people think that Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be a big thing coming up here with the Giants, with Darius Slayton being out. But Jackson Dart is not really sit in a pocket and look for stuff to open up kind of quarterback. He's a rookie. He's learning his way. And that offensive line is a little questionable in New York. So that's why Theo Johnson is a big thing. Now, this week, not so much because they're playing Philly, um, and they're playing on Thursday night. So make sure that you have all your Giants players, all your Philly players out of the flex into their position. So if you've got AJ Brown, if you got Devontae Smith, Saquon, and any Giant, make sure that they're in the wide receiver or the running back position so you have more flexibility coming up for the weekend for Sunday night, Monday night, in case you have an injury that is unforeseen and you have an emergency that you need to switch something out. You got a little more flexibility there. Um, Another big injury that happened was Brenton Strange, the tight end for Jacksonville. He has a quad hip flexor strain. He's on IR again, out 4 weeks. Remember, when they go on IR, they're out for a month. Okay, so you're going to be looking for somebody else to fill that gap. Now, somebody that may have been dropped here recently is David Njoku. If Njoku is on your waiver wire, go pick him up. They now also reminder, Joe Flacco just got traded from Cleveland to Cincinnati. Now hold on and calm down before you think that Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are going to be relevant again. Uh, this is Joe Flacco, and this is Flacco not from like 2022 when he was just going crazy in Cleveland. This is Joe Flacco 2025. Okay, he's 3 years older and he is a statue. And he's going from a offensive line that allowed the ninth most pressure to a team that's allowing the fourth most pressure. So he's going from bad to worse in this trade. So this is kind of a TBD on the success that he's going to have in Cincinnati. So make sure you keep that in mind. Yeah, if you've got somebody that is willing to give you something for Jamar Chase off of this big game and the big news of the trade of Joe Flacco, definitely turn it into something before it becomes nothing and you're not able to get out from underneath of Jamar Chase or T. Higgins. Um, Now, some additional notes. And guys, remember, all of this is coming from fantasy footballers Matthew Betts. Um, Make sure you check him out on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you find Matthew Betts. And always remember, try and follow somebody who is reputable when it comes to reporting injuries. Adam Schefter is an amazing source to have as well. But I use Matthew Betts with the Ballers just because I'm subscribed. And speaking of subscribing, if you haven't already, down the bottom, subscribe, like, share, all that kind of good stuff. Make sure you smash the notification button so you know when new content drops here at Faith and Football. Um, Now, Jalen Warren, he was seen participating in the Steelers' bonus practice. Um, Keep an eye on that. JJ McCarthy, uh, he's making a little bit of progress. Also, Terry McLaurin, who has been out for 4 weeks. Um, I'm sorry, for he missed weeks 4 and 5, so he was out 2 weeks. He could return for week 6, so make sure you keep an eye on the injury reports that are going to be coming out on Friday. Remember, the Friday reports are the ones that you guys want to pay attention to. Those are the ones that going into the games, going into the weekend, that are going to tell you the most about a player's ability to start. And remember, the best ability in fantasy football is availability. Okay. So that about does it for the injuries. As I said, please make sure that you keep up with your team's injury list, injury reports, all that kind of good stuff. I do recommend that you have at least the ESPN app along with the NFL app. That way you can get multiple sources, just in case one's saying one thing, one's saying another. You can kind of go, okay, well, what's the truth there? Me personally, I like Sleeper. If you're not on the Sleeper app, I don't know what you're doing, but Sleeper is where it's at. If you're playing in a league that doesn't use Sleeper, try to talk them into it for next year. Okay. So let's get into start sit. Let's start with the sits because you guys know I like to give the bad news first, and then we'll go and end on a positive note. Okay. So sits for this week. Justin Fields going up against Denver. Look, I know that last week going up against Dallas, Justin Fields had a really good fantasy day. But if you watch this game, he did not have anything until the fourth quarter. How do I know this? I started him. Okay. I took my own advice. I started Justin Fields against Dallas. Look, it was against Dallas. They were going to be, first of all, their defense is horrible this year. They had the offense to put up points, they had the defense to allow the other team to put up points. And up until about the fourth quarter, maybe halfway through the third, Justin Fields was absolute garbage. Okay. But the garbage time counts, doesn't matter. He still came up with almost a 30-point day. Now, about halftime, I did put in a claim for Tua Tagovailoa, but I retracted that and just got Justin Fields finished with the 29-point day. But however, I did go back and get Tua. So take that for what it's worth. Now, this is one that my wife is not really going to enjoy hearing because this is her boy. But Aaron Rodgers is going up against the Browns. And any quarterback going up against Cleveland this year is it's just a really, really rough. It's a rough time. Okay. And in case y'all are wondering, yes, I do have an in-studio guest. It is my wife, so and then you guys tell her hi. Her name's Amanda. So tell anybody say hi, Amanda. So, but yeah, Aaron Rodgers going up against the Browns, which means that DK Metcalf, don't expect a whole lot out of him. Any of the passing options, Calvin Austin, stuff like that. It's just going to be a really down day. If I'm not mistaken, the over under on this game is at 37 points, which is not pretty. So the Pittsburgh defense has been doing a little bit better, but the Browns defense is absolutely top notch. They've been shutting down everybody. So please lay off of Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you have a better option because he was probably drafted to be your backup quarterback anyway. So go ahead and set him. It's okay. You got better options. Now, for running back, this this is going to sound crazy, but sit Derrick Henry. He's going up against the Rams, and when they faced Saquon Barkley and that absolutely amazing offensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles, he got 9.5 points, y'all. Guys, Derrick Henry is not doing what Derrick Henry normally does because his offensive line is dinged up. Pretty much dang near everybody on that offensive line is a backup. If they're not a backup, they're a backup to the backup. That's right. They're starting like third string guards. It's nuts in Baltimore right now. They're, if I'm not mistaken, 1-4 this season. There's a meltdown going on. Plus, Lamar Jackson probably isn't going to play this game. So not only do you might not have Cooper Rush starting, it might be their third string quarterback because they have a bye coming up in week 7. So they're not going to run out the best of the best, especially against the Rams. Guys, the Rams are no joke on defense this year. So make sure that you go ahead and sit Derrick Henry. I know it might be hard for you, but guys, there's only 2 teams on bye, Minnesota and Houston. I seriously doubt that those running backs on Minnesota and Houston are going to hurt you enough to not be able to start somebody else besides Derrick Henry. Now, next up, DeAndre Swift, and no, I'm not saying this just because he's facing Washington. I'm saying it because DeAndre Swift going up against the Washington defense is absolutely just, it's going to be hard to watch. Okay. I personally don't believe in DeAndre Swift that much anyway. So, yeah, it might be a little personal bias on this one, but the numbers play out. Washington shut down a run defense in the Chargers and Mario Hampton, even though he got injured, absolutely shut down. They scored 10 points in the first quarter, and that was it. Nothing else past that. So, Washington's front line, they can perform. Now, this is going to be a primetime Monday night game, so make sure that you got all of those players in your flex just in case of injuries. Now, next up at wide receiver, I'm talking about Garrett Wilson. And I know this is going to be hard to hear, and this is kind of going out on a limb with this one. But the reason that I'm saying Garrett Wilson versus Denver is because Patrick Surtain is their number one shutdown corner, and he always shadows the prime wide receiver, the alpha on the other team. He has shut down wide receivers time after time after time, and Garrett Wilson will be no different. So, if you've got better options, check out and make sure that you're looking at the matchups because, guys, we're into week 6. We're talking buys. I know you're probably missing Justin Jefferson because Minnesota's on a bye. Maybe you're missing Jordan Addison because Minnesota's on a bye. You might be missing Nico because Houston's on a bye. I really don't think there's anybody else on Houston in the wide receiving core that you're actually dependent on anyway. But Garrett Wilson, guys, you probably got another option that you can turn to. If not, check out your waiver wire, see who got dropped this past week, see who slipped through. Maybe somebody slipped by that's a better matchup, and we'll talk about that in the starts. Next up, Zay Flowers again against the Rams. That's right. The Rams secondary is pretty much the same as their front four on defense. So definitely I'm sitting Zay Flowers not only because Cooper Rush is going to get just bombarded with a rush defense, but it's probably going to be Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews. If Justin Hill is playing, it's going to be a little dump down to Justin Hill because when they're behind, what happens? And this is another reason I said Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry doesn't do that well. If they're losing, he's not needed. If they're winning, then sure. Now, let's go ahead and flip this around. We'll talk a little more positively, and we're talking starts of the week. None other than, hey, I got the gray in the beard. I got to talk about the old man. Matthew Stafford. This dude has found the fountain of youth. He is absolutely killing it for fantasy, and he's going up against a Ravens defense that has just been a sieve. So make sure that if you have Matthew Stafford, who not only has an absolutely killer matchup, but he's also got the top wide receiver to throw to in Puka Nacua. So he's got Puka, he's got Devontae Adams. Guys, this is going to be an absolute just drumming of the Baltimore Ravens. Next up, we're taking a little bit of a leap on this one, but we're going to play the odds. We're starting Bryce Young against Dallas. The same thing holds true as it did last week for Justin Fields going up against Dallas. Look, they're probably going to be down. The defense for Carolina, it's okay. I mean, yeah, they shut down Miami, but it's Miami. This is Dallas. This is different. They have the offense to put up the numbers. What they don't have is the defense to prevent it. So with not having the defense, you're starting Bryce Young. Now, in the same game, you're starting Rico Dowdle. Look, I'm going to take a victory lap on this one because I've been talking about Rico Dowdle for at least 2 years now. When he was with Dallas, then he went to Tennessee. Now he's in Carolina and taking over for an injured Chuba Hubbard. Now, if you were fortunate enough last week to start Rico, Rico put up in our league 35 points. He was the running back one. Guys, he put up more than Christian McCaffrey. That's nuts. And he gets an even better matchup against Dallas. Yes, wheels up, full speed ahead for Rico Dowdle in a revenge game against his old team who shipped him off to Tennessee to just go into oblivion. Now, next up, we're talking, I spoke about this guy earlier, Hassan Haskins. Haskins is playing Miami. He's taking over in a run-heavy offense. Now, I know that that's normally the norm. I know they've been a little more pass-heavy this year, but going up against Miami, they were going to get out to a big lead, and then they're going to want to salt the game away with the run game. And Haskins is your boy for the run game. He's going to be the grinder. He's going to be the one to run out the clock when they're up. And Harbaugh and Greg Roman, they know how to do clock management properly. So make sure that you got Haskins in your starting lineup. Another guy you want in your starting lineup, and we saw it last week against Washington. We saw Ladd McConkey get a whole lot of work, got the touchdown. He didn't really torch anybody, but the slot receiver against Washington gets the best odds. And who's the slot receiver for Chicago? Luther Burton. We already saw him blow up one week. This week could be another performance like that. So you want to start Luther Burton. I know you probably, want to start a Doomsday, which is fine. I get it. Maybe DJ Moore. I know you might not be that happy with DJ Moore. He actually probably should have been a sit until he actually shows something. But Luther Burton going up against Washington, who is susceptible to the slot receiver, this is somebody that you want to start because Ben Johnson, he's probably been cooking up some stuff to going, hey, we need to get that guy involved. Now, this next one is a double whammy. And hopefully my wife will like this one a little better than she did the Aaron Rodgers take because I'm talking about her Green Bay Packers. That's right. She's a cheesehead. And they're facing Cincy this week. Now, Cincinnati, you thought that Dallas was bad on defense. These guys are going to be historically bad. Maybe not as bad as Carolina last year, but Cincinnati is going to be horrible. And Romeo Doubs and a new Christian Watson, who may be starting this week, if he is starting, and you've been holding on to Christian Watson, fire him up. This is an absolute cupcake match for him to make a comeback in. And we all know Christian Watson needs like one pass, and he's to the house. 70 yards, touchdown, no problem. We know he has it in him. And Romeo Doubs, coming off of the last game, I'm fine missing out on one game. Because in Green Bay, they pick and choose, and it's a headache trying to pick which Green Bay wide receiver to start. If you have one and you have a flex spot that you need open, maybe you have Zay Flowers, you're looking for somebody to plug in a better matchup. Anybody on Green Bay is better than anybody right now on the Ravens, okay? Because the Ravens facing the Rams, not a good deal. But Green Bay facing Cincy, anybody can pop off, and probably everybody will pop off for this game, especially my boy Josh Jacobs, which I'm so thrilled to have back off the bye. So remember, guys, bye weeks this week, Minnesota and Houston. That's it. Just to, I'll alert you guys a couple of weeks out when Mageddon is coming. That's when we have 6 teams typically 5 to 6 teams on a bye the same week, and it usually takes out a whole lot of heavy hitters. So make sure you're checking your waiver wires definitely a couple of weeks ahead to offset what you're going to be losing. Okay. Now, if you guys have any trade questions, please down below hit me up. Let me know. I would love to help you guys either facilitate trades or give you my opinion of who and why and what to trade. Okay. So, guys, that's it for this show. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank y'all very much for stopping by. And remember, football is good, but God is greater. We'll see you guys next time on Faith in Football. God bless.